Now at 5, a medical facility in Knoll, Missouri takes steps to make sure Tyson workers losing their jobs are supported. Plus, new laws go into effect in Missouri next week. We'll break them down. And
a fourth criminal indictment brings former President Trump to Atlanta. I'm Cristian Benavides outside the Fulton County Jail, where he is said to be booked on more than a dozen charges.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The only medical facility in the city of Knoll, Missouri is taking action to support its patients who will lose their health insurance once the Tyson plant closes in October. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. OCH Clinic is giving their patients who take medications prescriptions for 90 days with 1 refill. That means patients will have up to 6 months of medication available. The clinic is also making sure their labs are current.
We're trying to make sure that they're covered as much as we can as they're moving to different parts of the United States.
We are here for all patients within our community, and we're not moving, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to stay committed to them.
At the beginning of the month, Tyson announced plans to close its plant in Knoll. There, the company employs about 1,500 people. According to the clinic, about 50% of their patients are directly or indirectly related to Tyson. They also say they'll be supporting their patients who need help applying for Medicaid. Some new laws take effect in Missouri on Monday. One will make destroying an ATM a crime of first-degree property damage. Another makes stealing an ATM or its contents a Class C felony. Also, school resource officers will be allowed to bring firearms into schools and on school buses. And drivers in the Show Me State must be hands-free when using electronic devices on the road. The Joplin Art Gallery today donated to the Ronald McDonald House of the 4 states. Representatives from a local color art gallery presented the $1,200 donation to the Ronald McDonald House. The money comes from the gallery's spring open house, showcasing the work of 18 award-winning local artists. Pieces were auctioned off for the fundraiser.
Great idea. So we put together an art auction where all 17 of our local color art gallery artists donated a piece to the auction. Then we advertised it, as well as Ronald McDonald House advertising, and we had lots of people come in and bid on the items, and that's how we were able to raise the money.
The Ronald McDonald House provides temporary housing for families of seriously ill children in the hospital. But we need some relief from the heat. Meteorologist Sam Lane.
You're right, Dow. We definitely need some relief, and there is some on the way. Right now on satellite, we show lots of moisture in the atmosphere, especially over the Rocky Mountains. That's the remnants of Harold, and that's going to start spilling into our area as we go into the weekend, increasing our rain chances. We actually have some storms on radar right now over there to the east of Stockton, as well as here's Stockton right here. There's a shower there, also to the north of Stockton, and also near Westphalia. A little bit of a shower there just south and west of Garnett. So at least we're starting to see some moisture increasing across the area, but we also have the heat too. Temperatures will be falling through the 90s into the 80s, all the way down to about 76 by tomorrow morning. And looking down the lane, we have a hot Friday still, and then some weekend rain chances, but much cooler next week. And unfortunately, the drought is going to continue as well, and I'll have all the details in the forecast in just a bit.
Catch you soon. Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to authorities in Fulton County, Georgia today to face charges of conspiring to undermine the results of the 2020 election. Reporter Cristian Benavides is outside the county jail where supporters and a few critics have gathered.
Outside the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, supporters of former President Donald Trump rallied in his defense.
I really believe that Donald Trump is going through a lot of injustice.
They, along with a few critics, gathered before Trump was set to turn himself in to face charges of conspiring to overturn Georgia's 2020 presidential election results. It is the 2024 GOP frontrunner's 4th indictment since April.
It's backfiring because the more they do another indictment, what's happening is we just see how foolish it is.
I've been calling Donald Trump a rat all along.
Unlike the other criminal cases in which he's been charged, this time Trump will have a booking photo taken. The former president's bond was set at $200,000, the highest of all the co-defendants. He once again denied any wrongdoing during an interview with Tucker Carlson posted online during last night's Republican debate.
They're saying you don't have any right to challenge it. If you challenge an election, we're going to indict you and put you in jail.
This afternoon, Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, who had fought to have the prosecution moved to federal court, surrendered and was booked on a $100,000 bond. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis is calling for the trial to begin in late October for all 19 defendants. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Atlanta.
A day after meeting on the debate stage, GOP presidential hopefuls are trying to build on their momentum. 8 candidates sparred over several issues former President Trump declined to debate. The next GOP primary debate is scheduled for a month from now, September 27th, at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California. The head of the Wagner mercenaries who tried to overthrow Russian President Vladimir Putin is presumed dead after an airplane he was riding in crashed in Russia yesterday. Russian officials say Yevgeny Prigozhin was aboard a private jet that took off from Moscow. Wagner social media channels claim the jet was shot down. There's been no official word from the Kremlin, but President Biden says he wasn't surprised. Still ahead, protecting the environment one glass of wine at a time.
Uncorking greener wine. I'm Ian Lee with what could be the wine bottle of the future.
And next in Health Watch, the CDC issues new guidelines to hospitals on how to handle cases of sepsis. We'll meet a teen survivor turned advocate. Topping today's Health Watch, the CDC is sounding the alarm on sepsis in hospitals and is issuing new guidelines to improve outcomes for patients. At least 1.7 million adults in the U.S. developed sepsis, and 1 in 3 people who died in hospital had sepsis during their stay. Bradley Blackburn introduces us to one teen who survived and is helping advocate for others.
When Alice Tapper was 14 years old, she was hospitalized with a case of appendicitis, but doctors misdiagnosed it as a viral infection.
They weren't worried. They were treating me like I was a little bit dramatic when my body was slowly shutting down and my organs were failing.
The appendicitis had led to sepsis, a life-threatening infection that spreads rapidly throughout the body. Her parents, Jennifer and news anchor Jake Tapper, saw their daughter slipping away.
We were very close to the end.
Sepsis can be a confusing clinical picture and can be difficult to diagnose at times.
Dr. Raymond Dantes is a medical advisor for the CDC, which found while 73% of U.S. hospitals have sepsis teams, only about half provide dedicated time for leaders to manage those programs.
We want to improve outcomes and long-term recovery for patients with sepsis.
So does Alice. She and her mom joined the CDC to announce sepsis core elements to help hospitals ramp up care.
CDC believes sepsis programs in every hospital, regardless of size, location, and resources, can strengthen the quality of care delivered to these patients and ensure their survival.
Alice's recovery took months and multiple antibiotics.
I had to learn how to walk again, basically, because I was so weak and exhausted.
Today, she's strong. Her family wants others to know about sepsis.
It's an alarm bell for the whole country to just be aware you don't need to get this sick.
And be ready to fight an infection that can happen to anyone. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
September is Sepsis Awareness Month. Signs of sepsis can include extreme fatigue, breathlessness, high or low body temperature, elevated heart rate, change in skin, and change in mental state, among others. More evidence that defibrillators save lives. New research presented at the European Society of Cardiology finds using an automated external defibrillator, or AED, on someone experiencing sudden cardiac arrest significantly improves the patient's 30-day survival rate, especially when it takes an ambulance 6 to 8 minutes to reach a scene. Researchers say AEDs should be located in areas where ambulance response times are likely to be more than 6 minutes. A new device that attaches to a smartphone might help doctors spot wounds that are becoming infected. A team of international scientists say the device, called Swift Ray 1, measures body heat and allows advanced imaging of wounds that reveal bacteria that might be under the skin. Researchers believe the device might lead to more effective telemedicine assessments. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, we're going to learn about an effort to give pets orphaned in the Maui wildfires new forever homes.
And a change is in the air. I'll have all the cooler details in your forecast when we come back. Well, we are close to the finish line on this heat wave across our area, and we just have to hang on just a little bit longer. We're already starting to see some showers on radar. Let's take a look outside at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see some alto cumulus clouds out there. I haven't seen those in a while, and that's another harbinger of things to come. Moisture starting to accumulate in the mid layers of the atmosphere. We got close to 100 today. 99 was the high so far. 77 was the low, and 89 and 67 are the average. 102 the record back in 47, and 53 back in 1961. We're going to see 50-degree readings as we head through the forecast, but we'll get to that in a second. And we're about 9.15 inches behind on rainfall. There are some storms on the radar right now just to the east of Guilford and west of Canville, south and west of Chanute. A few little showers there, and we're going to continue to watch, though. Also some more showers over near Stockton. But we're still under an excessive heat warning for one more day until tomorrow evening at 10 o'clock. That includes southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, and of course northwestern Arkansas. So if you're going to be outside, make sure that you take frequent breaks, make sure you're also hydrated, and limit your outdoor activities if at all possible. And be sure to check on the elderly as well as your pets if they are going to be outside. Temperatures right now are very toasty. 101 in Iola, 102 in Chanute, 103 in Parsons and Independence, 104 in Neodesha. These are the actual temperatures, and you see upper 90s off towards the east. And we look dew points, they're in the 60s and 70s, so a little bit of an improvement. They were in the 80s, now they're down into the 70s, so that's giving us a little bit of a break as far as the heat index goes, but still we're in the muggy to soupy conditions. Feeling right now 107 in Parsons, 111 in Yates Center, but still feeling like 112 down in Grove. Now tomorrow, it's going to be hot once again, feeling like 110 plus across a large part of Oklahoma, a little bit cooler up to the north, but still feeling like over 100. But then as we go into Saturday, notice the temperatures start to feel a little bit cooler, especially in southeastern Kansas. And then as we go into Sunday, it's going to feel like in the 70s. Won't that feel nice, especially in southeastern Kansas? Next 36 hours, low rain chances, except maybe towards tomorrow, an isolated storm or two possible. But we're going to have to wait for this ridge to get out of the way before we start to see the moisture moving in from the north and west. And again, this is the remnants of Harold that came ashore in South Texas the other day. That's going to be moving across our area as we go into the weekend. And then once that moves by, we're going to be under this cool northwest flow, bringing down some cooler Canadian air. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the mid 70s. And then tomorrow, highs once again close to or at 100 degrees, especially in southeastern Kansas, a little bit cooler off towards the east. And then as we go into Saturday morning, a better chance of scattered showers with lows in the mid 70s. And then as we go Saturday afternoon, again, scattered thunderstorms possible with highs in the 90s for the most part. And then Saturday night into Sunday, a pretty good chance of scattered showers and storms with lows in the 70s. And over the next 7 days, it just gets better from there. Temperatures of only 83 on Tuesday. And look at that, Dal, 58 and 59 just for you on Wednesday and Thursday morning.
Just for me, really. All I have to do is place the order and you deliver.
That's right.
Don't expect a tip.
No,
but thank
okay.
you. Hey, some pups are looking for their forever home in California following the devastating wildfires that ravaged parts of Hawaii. This batch of 20 orphaned pets from Maui were flown to San Diego this week on an Alaska Airlines flight. Animal rescuers transported them to the Helen Woodward Animal Center to open up space at shelters on the island.
Hawaii Animal Rescue Foundation on the island of Maui asked if we could take some of their shelter animals that have been in the shelter for a long time, and by taking them we're opening up spaces so that people who have lost their houses can put their animals there.
Those pets are going to be available for adoption over the next few weeks once they clear their medical checks. Coming up, the Subway sandwich restaurant chain has a new owner. We're going to tell you who it is. Topping today's Consumer Watch, and one of the biggest acquisitions in fast food history, the Subway sandwich chain now has a brand new owner. After 6 months of looking for a buyer, Subway has been purchased by the private equity firm Roark Capital. The move ends the chain's near 6-decade run as a family-owned business. Roark holds investments in a number of large restaurant chains, including Jimmy John's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Sonic. Terms of the deal weren't disclosed. However, the Wall Street Journal reported the purchase price was around $9.6 billion. Fewer people across the U.S. are applying for unemployment benefits. The Department of Labor today reported the number of Americans filing claims for first-time jobless benefits fell last week to 230,000. That's a drop of about 10,000 from the week before. Jobless claims nationally are still below pre-pandemic levels, which points to a resilient labor market despite inflation and high interest rates. Traditional glass bottles are thought to make up more than half of the carbon footprint for the wine industry. But a British company is looking to cut glass out while helping wineries here in the U.S. create more local jobs. Reporter Ian Lee has that story from London.
Uncorking the future of greener wine starts in this English factory.
We've got more than 5,000 bottles stacked.
This is 5,000 bottles right here.
5,000 bottles sat right here.
Call it Card Bordeaux. After all, these are wine bottles made from paper.
The overall carbon footprint is much lower on a paper bottle than it is the equivalent glass bottle. We believe it's up to 6 times lower. The first few hundred...
Frugal Pack product director J.P. Grogan designed the bottles and the machine that makes them. How long do one of these bottles hold up for?
For a red wine, we're seeing sort of in excess of a year and a half. For white wine, sort of in excess of 12 months.
The contraption pinches, folds, and molds more than 2.5 million bottles every year. A plastic insert holds the liquid, and all materials are 100% recyclable.
The whole idea is that we locate the machine close to the producers of the beverages to just limit the amount of movements.
Allowing bottles to be made locally saves on hauling heavy glass.
My first thought was this could be very successful.
California-based Monterey Wine Company bought a machine to cut their carbon footprint.
We've dedicated ourselves to sustainability.
And making bottles locally had another appeal.
So you are kind of like bringing jobs back to the United States.
Our partnership with Frugal Pack has allowed us to get behind the scenes in how this bottle is made and find U.S. producers.
Creators say the cost for a paper wine bottle is about the same as glass, but hope as more companies switch to paper, they'll pour the savings onto customers. Ian Lee, CBS News, Ipswich, England.
Frugal Pack also makes paper bottles for spirits and olive oil and says their product doesn't affect the taste of the liquid inside. Lego is selling Braille bricks to the public for the first time. The company says these special bricks have studs that correspond to the numbers and letters in the Braille system. The printed version of the symbol or letter is also shown beneath the studs. The set's available in English and French, with more languages to be released next year. These bricks are also fully compatible with other sets. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the latest on Donald Trump's planned surrender to authorities in Georgia. Then on KOAM News at 6, the family of a man who died in the custody of the Ottawa County Jail receives a multi-million-dollar settlement. Plus, Walmart gives local parents a chance to get their kids an eye exam. And as high schools in Missouri get set for the football season kickoff tomorrow, we're going to check in with the Nevada Griffins. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Once again, it is hot out there, and it's going to stay hot for a bit longer.
About 36 more hours, and then we're going to start to see some changes. I wish we could have moved it to Friday, for those football games, but it's going to be another alert day tomorrow with temperature of around 100 degrees. But look at Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Scattered showers and storms with temperatures in the 80s, and then we really get to enjoy Wednesday and Thursday morning with lows in the 50s. What's going on there?
It's sweater weather is what's going on there.
That's right. We must be living right.
I guess. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.